welcome to my channel. I'm Tiffany, a retired librarian turned homeschool mom, and in this video we're going to be continuing the Boxcar Children series. So this is book 3, The Yellow House Mystery. So in this book we start out going back to the abandoned house on Surprise Island and the mystery of what happened there, how the kid's great-grandfather, Alden Sr., did racehorses on the island, and he had this guy who was doing racehorses for him and who had kind of a shady brother, and this guy sold 2 of these racehorses, was supposed to give money to the children's great-grandfather, but then he was kind of sketchy. His wife noticed him and heard sounds a couple of nights in the house, but never really caught him doing anything. And then he disappeared. And he's been gone ever since. And the wife is their housekeeper. So the children go back to the house, and they're messing around with the fireplace. And they find a loose brick. And they find this weird note that talks about the other house, and talks about this other bear something. Let me pull this up here. But this other area that's further up in Maine here. Oh, and the other thing that happens in the beginning of this book is Joe marries Abby. So the archaeologist that he had known in school. So, and she's involved in this to an extent. So, or Alice. Is that her name? Is it Alice or Abby? The wedding. So, but yes. And then where the heck do they go? I'm skimming through the book here. So, Bear Trail. So, this is up in the mountains. So they decide to go there, and they have different adventures, and they're trying to figure out what happened to this guy, because sometimes they think he's dead because he took a boat, and then they found the boat, and they don't know. And eventually they do eventually find him. He's living as a hermit, and they find his other yellow house, because he built the house on Surprise Island, and he built this other house. And it turns out his brother had promised him he'd be able to enlarge the money that he had gotten for these horses, but his brother was hit by a car before he was able to do any of this, and the money was hidden somewhere. Benny actually finds it in a tin box under the house up in Bear Mountain. So that's most of the mystery. They figure out he ran away. He couldn't face the Aldens, let alone his wife again. Very much guilt. He's able to get the money back. Obviously, this is a long time later, because this is the kid's great-grandfather, and this guy knew the kid's grandfather when he was young, so he's much older. And how that works, I don't know, because I don't think their grandfather is actually that old. I think he's maybe in his 60s. So they clean him up and bring him back to his wife, and they reunite, and everybody's living in the big house together with their cousin Jake upstairs with his wife, the Grandpa Alden, and the 4 kids, and the dog in the main house, and then their housekeeper, and now her husband living in her rooms. I think she lives off the kitchen. So it's very, very interesting. So this is kind of the first real mystery. This is the first one that's titled a title of a mystery, as opposed to the last one, though, because the last one was just kind of figuring out who Joe was. Turns out that he's her cousin Jake. So this is kind of an interesting, kind of the similar thing, and it's interconnected. So, something I've noticed, because the next book is Mystery Ranch, and then you have Mike's Mystery, which comes after that, and those are both connected. I don't know. Again, this is me going in blind. So this is actually longer, I think, than the last one, by a little bit. This is 109 pages. But you also have to remember there's various different pictures, black and white photographs in this book, so it's not as long as you might think. Again, as I said, I've known various people who read these things aloud. This book, and always to remember, there's not really any questionable stuff around here except for they're going up to a logging thing. The Yellow House Mystery came out in 1953. So, yeah, this book is still older than my now late mother. And came out when my mother and father-in-law were still very young. It still surprises me just how old these are. So, that these are coming out in the 50s. But there, you can't, as opposed to the last book, you can't really tell with this one. Because there's not, this one actually ages pretty well. So there's not anything that identifies this book as old as it is, as opposed to the last book, and we'll get into the next two books. I haven't read Mike's Mystery yet. It's sitting over here. I'll be reviewing the Mystery Ranch shortly, and you'll see that the following Monday, because that's just the way things work. So that's the end of this review here. As I said, next Monday you will be seeing this. This is Mystery Ranch. This is the next book. I will be finishing up the 19-book series that was written by the original author, which is Gertrude Chandler Warner. The series does continue. And I don't know if I've mentioned this before. The reason I'm stopping is because essentially once you reach 1 through 19, the children age. They get older. Once you hit beyond that, the series kind of ends and it becomes a formulaic similar to the Nancy Drew mysteries. It's written by a variety of different authors. So it becomes very much similar to the Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys mysteries. And I believe they're all written around the same time. Though I do believe the Boxcar Children are continuing on. So they're still going on and on and on. But the children stop aging. So I need a stopping point. Because I can't. I would be reviewing these forever. And I think I would get bored. But they become more formulaic like that. And we may touch into the Nancy Drew mysteries and even the Hardy Boys, which I'm familiar with, though I don't believe I've ever actually read them. So, again, that's the end of this review. Be sure to check out the rest of the channel. As again, I will be finishing the Boxcar Children. My Friday reviews are going to be some different mystery television series. When I can get to those, this is being filmed on the 27th of January. I am trying to get through some Anne of Green Gables, The Road to Avonlea book series, media series right now. So at the time of this filming, I'm on 2. So I need to get those done. And then I have one more Titanic thing to do, and then I'm done with Titanic. And I have some more I have some more media stuff to do for Ellis Island stuff. So we will get to those things eventually. So, be sure to check out the rest of the channel. I have a lot of stuff you can check out from the past, and I have a lot of stuff coming. Thank you.